Awards. It is Sunday, and we are once again doing an Andrew Lloyd Webber double feature.
Not intentionally.
That's
we did make the intentional choice to do Andrew Lloyd Webber.
We made a choice for shows, not for composers.
That's true, yeah. We chose Cats last week and Phantom of the Opera and Love Never Dies this week. And
just haven't seen a lot
happens
of
to be
ALW shows.
Yeah.
And we're fixing that. Mm-hmm. I've never seen Phantom.
I enjoy Phantom. I really like the book. I read the book when I was younger and really enjoyed it. And then I like the stage show. I like the music. It's got a sad, terrible boy in it. And, I'm a big fan of sad, bad boys. So I like the show and I think that it's fun. Amanda has seen it, but Megan had not. And neither of them have seen Love Never Dies, which I have seen. So it will be fun for the second feature. But what did you guys think of the first one? We watched the 25th anniversary, stage show of it, which is not the coolest as far as set goes, but the singing is really good.
It's in the Royal Albert.
Yeah, it's more of an arena as far as seating goes.
It also isn't really a stage. I get the feeling that it's designed for
Concerts.
concert performances.
And
So it doesn't have big wings.
yeah, it's a music hall, so it doesn't have a lot of big set pieces. And I don't know if I feel like they only did this one night only. It was recorded and also it was a production, but it was I think it was a one night thing, so they weren't gonna go crazy on the staircase or the chandelier. I mean, there still was a crazy chandelier, but it just isn't.
But they didn't drop it. Mm-hmm. So it's what's the most we can do without having large constructions?
Yeah. And so I'm a little sad about that because I feel like Megan missed out on some of the majesty that comes with seeing Phantom. Mm-hmm. But it was still fun and the performers were phenomenal. The singing was so good and the costumes were magnificent.
I liked the Carlotta more than I usually do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't really like Phantom, or I say that I don't really like Phantom because the music isn't super dynamic if you're just listening through the soundtrack. It's not as interesting. I think I will enjoy listening to the soundtrack more now that I know what's going on a little bit. Because it has a lot of musical themes, and so a lot of the themes happen when certain people are on stage or certain things are happening, but when you're listening to the music, it just makes a lot of the music sound the same, and I don't know what's happening, and why are they all so similar, and what order do they go in, and whatever. So, and I just didn't care enough. So I definitely like Phantom more. I've never been I hate Phantom. I've just been I don't really care about it. And now I'm this is a decent show. It's not my favorite. I can see a lot of similarities between it and Les Mis as far as grandeur and being epic, and even the way it staged this 25th concert to the Les Mis anniversary concerts or the Les Mis concerts. So
yeah, and I mean, there's always something to be lost watching a live performance recorded. Mm-hmm. Feeling the music, I feel is a very large part of Phantom because it is so operatic. It is so it's a very musical, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I would previously say I was uninterested in seeing a live production of Phantom, and now if the opportunity came up, I would be more interested. I feel like seeing a high school do Phantom would be hilarious.
I don't know that high schools do Phantom. I've never seen a high school version of Phantom.
I feel maybe they don't try it because the construction is such a large part of it.
Yeah, and also because
although I did see a high school do Miss Saigon, and there's also some wild set pieces in that one.
Yeah. But it was fun, and we're going to watch Love Never Dies, and I think that Megan and Amanda will have totally different opinions then.
There were a few Christine bits where I just couldn't tell what she was saying, and it's so famous and so many people know the words that it doesn't really matter in the 25th anniversary if her diction is immaculate. Mostly people want to hear her sing and her total quality.
That is my issue. One reason why I don't particularly care for music written for sopranos is that it is often difficult to understand what they're saying, which is one thing we talked about during Cats.
Yeah.
When the young hopeful girl
was doing memory,
which is also why you didn't know that Les Mis wasn't about lesbians is because you couldn't tell what Cosette was saying.
Correct. I did not know
And
what
I
she
was like,
was
that's
singing.
ridiculous because I know what Cosette's saying. So it's not ridiculous that sometimes I was like, kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know like what
She doesn't
Christine
know
was
the words.
feeling because
Yeah.
I didn't know what she was saying.
And she does have a lot of like radical emotional shifts. partway through.
She really,
Especially
like,
since
the
she's
show
an actress
is
and the way
wild.
this was directed, I was like, I don't know if she's into this because it's like in the show, within the show, or if she's like in. I didn't expect so much of it to be diegetic. I didn't know that so much of the music was like music
actually
in the opera.
It's really fun.
I really didn't know that much about Phantom, and now I'm solidly in the like, I get it.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll check back in after
But first-
Love Never Dies. We have now watched Love Never Dies.
That's true.
It is the sequel to Phantom of the Opera, in so much as it has some of the same characters.
Debatable.
Has the same weird this thing that the Phantom does, and then Christine does whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's true.
That
The
was still there.
hypnotizing power is still there. It's a wild show. I would not say that it's great. I enjoy it because it has an aesthetic that I really love, because it's set on Coney Island and therefore has a whole dark carnival theming going on, and I'm real into that. Plus, I love all of Meg Jury's numbers. All of them.
Aesthetically, it's really pretty. The pacing's really weird. And spoilers for Love Never Dies, you like realize that the pacing is weird because they decided to have Meg have a weird psychotic break and have that be like the final act and turning point for the show when it doesn't feel like it should be. So it feels like it's really, really slow. And then the last like 10 minutes of the show, a lot happens.
Yeah, I feel like the final climax is very late in the show, and then there's basically no falling action.
Yeah, I would say that that's
So
true.
I was like, that's how it ends? Okay.
Which also made it feel
Sort of
like,
like
that's the middle, because like the middle didn't, it just was really
Yeah, when
muddy.
we were like, oh, this is probably the end of Act 1, we were halfway through Act 2.
We, in general, wish that they told us there was an act break there, even if they didn't like wait, if they just said intermission and then started the show again.
I don't know,
Did
I
the
feel
on
like
track?
part of the way that I understand the structure of the show is knowing where the act break is.
Well, I can normally feel when an act break is coming, and then I'll be like, oh, this song's probably the end of the act. And then sometimes, you know, there's one more or two more songs.
Or there's like a scene.
Or there's like a scene or something. But in this, we thought that the act break was at the hour and a half mark, because it didn't really feel like anything had happened in Act 1, really. But the songs are fun. The set is really pretty.
No, I think I would have liked the show more if it wasn't a Phantom sequel. I wouldn't have like enjoyed it necessarily, but it wouldn't have made me angry, which the show several points throughout
Makes you
made
angry.
me angry.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's not what happened in the first show. They're specifically talking about this thing as if it happened in a way that it did not. Or they'll like have a character react in some way that I'm like, that doesn't feel consistent with this entire character that you built up in the first show. I have a lot of moments like that with Madame Giry. And quite a few with Meg as well. But like literally everyone in the show, there are points that I'm like, that
Except
makes
maybe
no
the
sense.
Phantom. I mean, like, the plot of the Phantom leaving. But, like, the Phantom acted pretty in character. Possessive and using his hypno powers. But, yeah.
But I feel
he's
like
just the
it
same.
undoes all of the character growth he had in the first show. Unlike you're in the exact same situation that
Yes.
you were in before. So like, what was the point of the first show?
Yeah, you didn't learn anything. Like, you let her go, and why
You
are
were like,
you suddenly...
oh, the Phantom left her. And I'm like, no, he didn't. He let Christine decide and she chose not him.
It would be like a fun flop of a show if it didn't have the Phantom skin on it.
Like, I would have enjoyed the tech.
Yeah, it would be a show that, like, if it got produced, didn't do great and closed quickly. But I said it at the beginning that, like, it probably wouldn't have been greenlit and produced as a, like, weird Coney Island Andrew Lloyd Webber show.
Listen, you say that, but Cats exists, so it could have. I feel like he could have gone real hard in the Coney Island side, and it would have still been produced. Would it have run as long as Love Never Dies? Probably not, but I would have been into it.
Yeah, I think I'd be into it more because some of the songs are really fun, and I don't feel like any of the Phantom musical themes or characters made the show any better, so you could restructure it a little bit and make it.
Yeah.
No.
And
Or
I
up to
think
the original bops.
I think that The Beauty Underneath is a great
Yeah, I think that
bop.
song's
I sing
fun.
that song all the
It's
time.
a fun theme. And I like the Friends song.
Yeah, friends that we haven't seen in
Yeah, the old friend song.
Yeah, that
It's
was
fun. All
And
of
I
the,
like both of
Bad
Meg's
Moon.
songs. I think they're both
Yeah,
bops.
but they are not in they're
I
not
liked the
consistent.
quartet.
They're not consistent with the theme of Phantom
Yeah.
at all because they're not operatic. They're in the style of like a Coney Island variety show. So that they don't those could exist in any show. Just
Yeah,
plop
yeah.
them
Like I'm
out.
saying, we're gonna make a Coney Island show. We're keeping those songs.
Yeah. But it was fun to watch them, if not a little frustrating.
It would get a 6 out of 10 if it wasn't a Phantom sequel, but because it is, it gets like a 3 or a 4.
But the sets were the other thing I was gonna say, because this is like not the same type of production as the version of Phantom we saw, it had like I feel like more complete sets, and so it was fun to see like the really crazy sets and the aesthetics that were like kept from the first Phantom, and then the aesthetics that skewed Coney Island rather than opera. So it was nice to see like a very elaborate set, even if it is a touring show. It's not like a only for this or like
Yeah.
special run or whatever. So
Aesthetically, I give the show like a 9 or a 10, but I'm biased because I love the circus aesthetic.
It didn't feel relevant to the rest of the show.
Oh, I
They were
didn't
like,
say that.
Coney
it
Island
fits.
scene, okay, Phantom of the Opera scene. Okay, Coney Island scene, okay, Phantom of the Opera
and he
scene.
just owns Coney Island?
No, he
Just
owns
the
a
show.
show at Coney Island.
Sure.
Yeah.
How'd he do that?
So that was the Phantom double feature.
She's
Less
so upset
pleasing
about it.
than Cats. Turns out.
Jellicle.
Listen,
We needed more
people,
wine.
Here's the deal: is that people
We had
get upset
wine.
about
I don't know why we
Cats.
didn't drink.
People get upset about Cats, but I would like to point out that I love Cats
Cats was
way more than
I have no
Phantom.
problems with Cats.
And-
That's what it is.
These people liked Cats more than Phantom. I'm just saying that most of the world is wrong. That's
More
all.
than Love Never Dies. Not more than the Phantom of the Opera. But the more I watch from Andrew Lloyd Webber, the more he frustrates.
Starlight Express.
That's the next thing we're gonna find.
No.
I'll
I hope.
see you
I
tomorrow.
refuse.
Still does the kiss even when she's upset.